Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As we promised, we are going to cover the important visit by American Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who arrived yesterday in Egypt, and this is his first leg in the Middle East, as he is going to also visit the Palestinian and Israeli territories, where he is going to meet with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and the Israeli Prime Minister with Benjamin Netanyahu. And of course, he is going to be received here in Egypt by President Abdel Fattah and Minister of Foreign Affairs Sameh Shoukry, to shed more light on the important visit, which comes at a very critical time with violence flaring up in the occupied territories between the Israelis and Palestinians, claiming many lives. We are very much delighted to have with us via phone Mr. Hassan Shabaan, our political analyst. Thank you very much for being with us, sir, and a very good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you this morning?
Sir, there are tensions in the region, and what was going on since the start of 2023 in the occupied territories, with killing civilians from both sides, particularly the occupation raids into the Palestinian territories, whether in Jenin or in Al-Quds, claiming the lives of many Palestinians. And here I'm speaking about the Palestinians because including children, they have nothing to do with the conflict, but this is unfortunately what's going on the ground. How do you see the timing, and if the Israeli-Palestinian issue is going to top the agenda of Blinken's talks here in Egypt first, as Egypt is going to be his first leg in the Middle East tour?
Definitely the situation in between the Palestinians and the Israelis, it will be a very hot issue on the meetings between the Prime Minister, the Foreign Minister, and the Mr. Blinken. As things are escalating between both sides, retaliation of the Israelis after the operation in Israel, killing a number of civilians in Israel, and retaliation of the Israeli forces against the Palestinians. This will ruin all the efforts that were made before to reach a happy ending for this long-awaited crisis to be resolved. So I think, yes, Egypt could play a role in this respect, with the Palestinians and with the Israelis, because we enjoy the confidence and the friendship between the Israelis and us, and the Palestinians, of course, our brothers in Palestine. So we are geared to play a positive role if it was required from us, and this is what will the Foreign Minister Blinken will discover during his visit to Jerusalem very soon.
And of course, the visit also comes just days after the return of Benjamin Netanyahu and his government, hardline government to be accurate, and which took a lot of decisions against the Palestinians and opposing the Palestinian statehood in general. If you want to elaborate on that before moving to another issue, or let's move to the strategic partnership between Egypt and the United States.
Well, Prime Minister Netanyahu enjoys a lot of popularity. He is a radical, properly Prime Minister, but again, I think things will be resolved, because I think it is to the benefit of both sides, and to continue the efforts that the previous American administration have made between generally speaking, the Arab countries and Israel, which should reflect on the final solution of the two-state
solution.
Yeah.
Yes, amen to that. Moving to the strategic partnership or the strategic relations that are binding Cairo and Washington. There were some statements which were released by the American embassy here in Cairo, and it spoke about the goals or the aims of this very important visit by Blinken to Egypt. Topping the agenda, boosting these strategic ties in all domains, considering Egypt as a milestone or a cornerstone of stability and security in the Middle East, in addition, of course, to boosting relations in all domains as a win-win situation between the two countries. Would you please elaborate on that?
You see, Egypt and the United States celebrate a century of relations this year, actually. So I think with the strategic coordination between Egypt and the U.S., Egypt could, as you said, be a cornerstone in the coming period, because it's very critical with the situation between Russia and Ukraine. And we have to notice that there is a lot of escalation as well, and confrontation, a possible confrontation between Israel and Iran. And we're going to have to watch carefully the events in the area. And Egypt is definitely a cornerstone and a reasonable and wise partner in peace in the Middle East.
Amen to that. But to add to what you're saying, sir, and since you mentioned the Russian-Ukrainian conflicts with its global negative economic repercussions, also trade, industry, investment, economy in general, do you think also that this is going to top the agenda with the issues regarding soaring prices, supply chain crisis, energy crisis, all these issues which are really hitting the whole world and not directed to certain people or certain area?
Definitely. Being in partnership in peace since like 40 years between between the U.S. and Egypt, definitely the economical situation will be definitely discussed, because it's obvious that Egypt is very much affected with the international political situation. And I think the U.S. could play a very positive role in relieving this pressure that we are exposed to. And I think definitely this will be one of the files that will be discussed between our Foreign Minister, Mr. Shukri, and Mr. Blinken.
If you permit me, sir, to add to what you're saying regarding the economic issue or the economic crisis, it's really hitting the whole world. McCarthy is going to meet with his president, with American President Joe Biden, discussing the U.S. debts. And this is going to be one of the most important challenges in front of the biggest economy in the whole world. So what's going on these days worldwide is affecting all economies, whether big or small, developed or developing. If you agree with me on that.
Yes, I definitely agree with you on this. Definitely, globally, the whole world is very much affected with this war, actually. So, but I think coordination between Egypt and the U.S. will be very beneficial, especially to Egypt.
Yes, sir. And moving once again to politics, because we cannot separate politics from economy. Regarding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, it is a very important issue which is going to top the agenda of talks as expected, but also regarding other crises in the Middle East, regarding the situation in Libya with postponement of the elections, regarding what's going on in Sudan. It's our Western gate and our strategic depth. Also, how do you see the situations in neighboring countries or in our with our allies, to be accurate? And because it was proved that their national security is part and parcel of our national security and part and parcel of the whole world security. Now it's a small village.
Definitely, our location, geographic location in the Middle East, as well as the very special ties that connects us with Libya and Sudan. Definitely, Egypt is very much concerned with the political situation in Libya, and I think everybody is looking forward to the coming elections. They long-waited for elections that were postponed for better than a year, actually. I think Egypt could play a very positive role among the Libyans, the fractions, Libyans, the tribes, and because we enjoy a lot of, we enjoy good relations with a lot of the tribes and the personnel in Libya. Actually, I think our presence and maybe we could host the Libyan fractions to bring all their point of views together and just accelerate the issue of elections. On the Sudanese issue, Egypt will host the coming week the Sudanese meetings that could lead finally to a civilian government, which is the aim of the people in Sudan, and I think we're very close to achieve this goal.
And this is to say that, as we said, Egypt is a cornerstone, a pillar. I mean, when it comes to the stability of the Middle East, Egypt comes first. And because of this, it was the choice to visit Egypt first before doing any other thing and before going even to the occupied territories to meet with the top officials of both the Palestinian and the Israeli side.
Definitely, choosing Egypt to be the first station, the first point that Mr. Blinken visits, it means a lot. I think we have a point of view in regard of all the issues that we just discussed: the Palestinian-Israeli file, the Libyan file, the Sudanese file.
Among other top issues. But, sir, if you permit me to return back to the agenda of talks, because when it comes to the stability or the peace of the whole world, illegal migration should be considered. Fighting terrorism should be considered. Fighting extremist ideologies should be considered. And with the Egyptian success in fighting terrorism and in fighting illegal migration, in fighting extremist ideologies, and we declared that we succeeded in defeating all these negative stories or negative issues throughout the years. Throughout the last 10 years, we did great in all these wars together, hand in hand or coinciding with our development process. Also, these issues, to what extent do you think that they are important to be tackled by Blinken in his visit to Egypt?
Definitely, all of these issues are hot issues, and the Egyptian success in it actually is remarkable. And I think our experience in fighting terrorism, illegal immigration, all of this would be, a model to be followed elsewhere in other countries like in Libya, because still illegal immigration from Tunisia and Libya is ongoing. Terrorism is still active in certain countries like Syria, for instance. So I think our experience in fighting terrorism and controlling illegal immigration will be definitely considered.
And this is to say also, sir, that our foreign affairs or our foreign relations are witnessing a leap. I mean, when it comes to the last 10 years, or since President Abdel Fattah Sisi occupied the office, took office, there is new basis. I mean, it's a win-win situation. It's a mutual respect. It's taking into consideration that Egypt returned back to its positive role or its very vital position, whether in the Mediterranean, in the Middle East, or in the African or Arab arenas. If you agree with me on that.
Definitely, we are very active in all these arenas, and we adopted a very, very wise and just policy, foreign policy, and we earned the respect and the trust of all these countries that we dealt with. We have a president who's very active in our Arab region. He doesn't quit meeting with the top leaders in the area, as well as the foreign visits that the president just made to Azerbaijan and to India and Armenia. Oh, he's very active, and I think Egypt is regaining its normal positive role, a political role worldwide.
Amen to that. Sir, you, as usual, you are an added value to our screen. We were very much delighted to have with us Engineer Hassan Shabaan, our political analyst. Thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good day. Well, by this we come to the end of this episode of our breakfast show. Stay tuned on Nile TV International always for more updates, and for more details, please log on to www.nileinternational.net. Before we go, this is a reminder, we are going to follow minute by minute the visit of American Secretary of State Antony Blinken to Egypt, which started already as he arrived yesterday night, and he is going to have some talks today. Well, we are going to be following his visit and his talks, the meetings, the press conferences, everything, so stay tuned on our screen. You are in the company of my dear colleague and friend Amal Mukhtar and myself, Nermeen Abdurrahman. Tomorrow is another day, another crew, another episode of The Breakfast Show. It's a goodbye for now.